All right, everyone. Let's get crazy. It's Wake Up West Coast. It's lunchtime. I'm Leland Best, your host out at BCB Live, coming to you from the Corona out on the Shiawassee River here in Michigan in the U.S. So welcome to the broadcast. I'm going to be bringing out a special guest here in just a minute, but I want to let everybody know what we're doing out here first. This is season 2 of Wake Up. So last season we did about 8 or 10 episodes somewhere in there. We kind of wrapped a couple in that didn't work and some that did. But in the end, we had a really great time. The whole purpose of Wake Up West Coast is to bring people together in a network fashion so that we can get to know each other. It's not about coming out here and marketing to you. It's not about coming out here to you with the next great thing, the next best product, the next greatest service. It's simply to come out and get to meet people, to sit down and discuss some of the things that's going on in the world today, whether it's politics, religion. We really don't care what we touch upon, but those are honestly 2 of the topics that are most heated when it comes to discussion. So what we try to do is take those 2 things and set them aside for a while, and let's just talk about who we are, where we're from, what we do, what we like to do on a side note versus what we just do for business, so that we can become better communicators, so that we can learn to associate with people that we might not be familiar with, places on other parts of the planet. I'll be bringing people in here from Pakistan, from India, from South Africa, who happens to be our special guest today. Albert is in the seats. He will be joining us just momentarily. He is a gentleman that manages to take a team of individuals out and climb Mount Kilimanjaro, the highest point in Africa. So we're going to have him on talking about his March to Greatness, which is a program he has been mentoring for quite some time. I'll be working with Albert to get him more involved in some of what we do here over at Get Vocal, which is live stream broadcasting. So you're likely to see a lot more of Albert in the days to come. So I'm going to bring him on so that you guys can meet him right away. We're going to talk for a little bit first. So I'm going to lock the seats out for a little bit so we can get to know Albert. And then we'll let you guys come in, sit down, and discuss, ask whatever questions you might have. So Albert, I'm going to open up the seats. You go right ahead and jump into that first one that you see next to me, and I'm going to lock them back out again. And then we'll go from there. So Albert, you just click on that little grab the spot thing, and I'm going to lock him back up, and we're going to check his mic. We haven't had an opportunity to do any of this. We wanted to, but at the last minute we got him in here. So Albert, can you hear me? I think he can.
Leland, I can hear you. Can you hear me back?
Perfect. I can hear you, and you sound great. Yeah. If you have any distractions going on, if you have headphones, I see you have those on. That's perfect. If you do have any distractions, it sounds like you've got some children or something there. Just make sure they do their best to kind of keep the levels down. But this is an open forum. We don't mind you having your family around or friends for that matter. That's what this is all about. So thanks for coming, Albert. I appreciate it. How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm so good. And that's my 4-year-old daughter, Hanifa.
Hello.
Who really wants to join.
Oh, absolutely.
Hello, Hanifa.
Absolutely. Hi. Hello, sweetheart. How are you today? Hello. I'm coming from the... I'm in the U.S., sweetheart. I'm over on the other side of the big ocean. She's waving. That's beautiful.
Uncle is talking to you. Can you say...
Tanifa.
Oh, I love it.
Did you hear her?
It was Tanifa, did you say? That's a beautiful name.
Can you say your name again?
Crisette.
Yeah, she says her name is Hanifa Crisette.
Oh, Hanifa. Okay. I was a little off there. I'm trying to get it in my headphones here, but there is a bit, it's not bad, Albert, but I think there's a bit of a delay in the audio coming to us. So if I don't respond immediately, it's only because I'm waiting for the signal to get to me. So not a big issue. All right. So I gotta take it right to where we want to go with this, Albert. And you and I met, fortunately, through Amy Carrier's classroom. I teach a live stream broadcast course over there for the individuals in places all around the world who've never experienced what we do here. So we touched base because you want to build a studio in Africa. Can you tell all of our viewers here what it is exactly that you're working on with your March to Greatness?
Sorry, Leland, could you repeat the last part again about the studio? I think the network sort of like slapped.
It will do that, and we understand it's a connection overseas to a place that's not normally accessed from where we're at. So I'm just simply wanting to get some information about the March to Greatness that you did recently. You took someone here from Michigan and had them come to Africa to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. What was that all about? Can you give us a little backstory on the March to Greatness?
Well, thank you so much for this opportunity, and hello to everyone who happens to be listening to this. My name is Albert Nation, and back in the year 2006, I founded an organization that is based in the low-income communities called the Slum Code Group. And so through the Slum Code Group, Slum Code, yes, SLUMCODE.
I've got it down.
And so, thank you. So having founded Slum Code, our vision and my personal direction had always been to set up a safe space for young people who are literally underprivileged, so that they can also experience the different opportunities that other people have out there without necessarily leaving their neighborhoods. So to be precise, it's about bringing these opportunities to where the talented kids and youth are. And so that has always been the vision that I have pursued as the founder of the Slum Code Group. So we've gone through so many challenges over the years, but you got to keep on going through your vision and your dream.
Absolutely.
So in 2016, thank you. So in 2016, I was actually at my lowest point in life, because we had tried out a few different things and they were not really working. We got some partners, we thought this would pull through, and it just never worked, partly because of our political issues. In Kenya particularly, every time we have an election cycle, I'm sure you know about this, that it would literally end up in chaos and violence, and the political heat is always too bad. Yeah, too bad. Actually unpredictable to even run a business, but we hope that that changes and a lot of things improve. So that gave us a lot of challenges, but things are getting better. So 2016, to be precise, I came up with the idea of March to Greatness, and it was actually a personal journey, because I was also at my lowest as Albert Nation, and I realized that I only have two options. I would either give up or go up. And the only solution was to go up. Wow, thank you for putting up the video.
Yeah, go ahead and explain to the viewers, Albert, what they're seeing right now, because you sent me this video on an IM just yesterday, and I got a chance to watch through it, and I was really impressed at what you guys have managed to put together. Take us through a little walkthrough. I'll go back to the beginning real quick of what's going on where you're at right there. So I see here at the beginning, it's big.
Yeah, so
but go ahead. I'll let you take it from there.
Thank you so much. So what you're seeing there is our current space. A slum, you know, literally having an office in the slums down there. But having grown over the last 12 years, we realized we needed a bed. In the last year, September, that is 2017 September, we found this space, and we thought it would be more appropriate for us to take it up and talk to the owners of the building and begin setting it up. So we came in here when it was literally an unfinished rooftop that we want to convert into the Slum Code Hub. So this is how March to Greatness inspired us to be able to move. So this is a building on the 4th floor, which is literally unfinished, and the young people call it Slum Code Unfinished Hub. So the inspiration is to be able to run a campaign that would help us mobilize resources to do two things. In the short term, rent up this place, and you can see the programs written there: Slum, Slum Media, Code Space. All those are our key programs within the Slum Code Hub that we want to execute one after the other. Get it?
So can we pause, Albert? Can we stop for just a second on this particular panel? Because I think it's important to the viewership that they understand this isn't just, it looks to the people who are watching that this is like some gutted building out in Africa. Nobody understands why this building's there. But when you get to this part of the building, you go, wait a minute, there's a lot of people involved in this project right now. That we have all of the name brands that you see there to the side. So tell me, how are they bringing to the table what you need for the Slum Code group? What is it exactly that all of these people are participating at what level? Because I think it's important to know that these aren't just your everyday kids. These are kids who are gifted in the ability to work with computers and know what it is they want to go from, right? Give us a little understanding of how all these people got involved in it.
So much for that. The very, very pertinent question. I appreciate. So what happens is this, like I told you, my vision for Slum Code was basically to exploit talent that is based in the low income communities. And so what we did with the team was to come up with various set of key projects and programs that are relevant to the people who we serve and to our target group. So if you can see the brands that we have put there, these are actually Slum Code initiated projects, you see. So if you see number one, we have what we call the VioSlum. VioSlum is our Slum Code brand of a virtual office, basically. So everything that you see there are...
Gotcha. I missed the mark. So you've developed, I thought these were people backing your project. These are actually all of your projects that you're developing. I was way off base there, Albert. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
This is awesome. I just learned something today. Okay.
Thank you. Actually, it is actually very good that you stopped at that to be able to ask. Those are not partners. Those are Slum Code programs that are being built up. Slum Code. Yes. So awesome. VioSlum is basically our version of the virtual office. And then you can see we have Kituo. Kituo is basically meaning we are going to set up a hospitality spot. People can eat, sleep, and have the services within this building. You can see Slum Media is now where the studio me and you are talking about coming in, video shooting, photography, editing, and stuff like that. Code Space is basically about ICT. So in a nutshell, like I said, those are programs that we are developing internally, but they basically refer to stuff that already exists, only that we are making them a little bit personalized and creative for the Slum Code Hub.
Cool. Well, that is so awesome. All this time when I passed that wall in the video, I'm thinking, oh, well, he's got all kinds of people working with him on this, but this is all your effort. So that's amazing, Albert, that you guys have put that much stuff together. And who is the CEO here on the wall that I saw a picture of? It says, welcome to Slum Code Creative. And if I catch this right, it says her name is Rania Hotet, or CEO of ID4A Technologies, the next transformative tech. What's up there?
Yes. Now, so what happened is this. Last year, almost at a time like this, we normally have in Nairobi what we call the Nairobi Innovation Week. And so through the connections that we did via Batola, or the Impact Playground, and where I met all these people that are now linking me up to you and all that stuff. So this lady posted that she was coming to Nairobi and she needed a photographer. And so the people who know me on that platform literally tagged my name. And so I tagged one of the young people we work with who is a photographer, and she liked the young man and picked him up. So basically when she did that, she said, Albert, I want to come and visit your project. Wow. And so we set up. Immediately she was done with her assignment, which I was sponsored by The Economist. She took just half an hour to come and check us out. So that is Rania Hotet. She came to our project, spent a little bit of time with the young people, gave her nuggets and ideas. But she's based out there in, I think, San Francisco.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Now, who were the people here in Michigan?
So she literally...
Go ahead. Don't let me stop you.
Sorry, it's fine. So through Rania Hotet, the brother who is based in Michigan now saw a post that I put on Rania's wall about March to Greatness and hiking the Kilimanjaro.
All right.
Are you getting how the whole connection works?
Yes, I'm getting it.
Yeah, so that is now how Mohammed Hotet saw a link on Rania's wall and he grasped it. He was like, I like this. So he got in touch with me and said, Albert, I want to do Hike of the Great with you. And that's how it started. That's how he came, and we did the Kilimanjaro. So he popped into this space. Yes.
No, I wasn't trying to stop you. I'm trying to find those little breaks where I can interject. I don't want to stop you from delivering your message, but I want to make a really big point right now because it's so important with what we do here at Wake Up West Coast. The whole idea behind this program and this show is to get people to talk and to network and to meet other people from around the world. And that's exactly how the gentleman here in Michigan ended up in Africa, was because of networking. It wasn't about seeing an ad on Facebook. It wasn't about learning from this in college. It wasn't about going to a store and seeing a flyer on the wall. It was about people connecting people. It was about one person talking to another person, seeing someone else on a post, and then those people connecting after the fact. It's that network that built that connection and got this kid from Grand Rapids to make it to Africa and be able to climb the highest peak in that country. It's just amazing to me that those connections can be made that simple. And that's how it works. So it's an amazing story. Tell me about what's behind me now.
Thank you.
I suspect this is the studio that you guys will be whoops, I'm doing double takes here. This is the studio you guys will be broadcasting from, correct?
Exactly. So that is currently our space. And you saw when we started, it was literally walls. So what we've done over the last 1 year is put together our small resources and gotten some small partners who have helped us to buy the chairs, put up the desk. So if you can see the banners that are behind there, all these are young people we work with and the projects and programs that we have done over the last about 2 to 3, 4 years. So because the walls are literally unkempt and unfinished, we wanted to do the interior to tell our story. So the best way to tell our story was to put the banners of projects that we have done. Like you see, diversity was sponsored by some friends of ours from the Netherlands. And it's young people who do what we call spoken word poetry. Young boys who have literally grown up at Slumcode. So if you see the space that we now have, that's where we are setting up the Innovation Center. And so the young people are able to walk in literally from the neighborhood and experience of different opportunities that they would have never come across at any given time. So our vision is actually coming up together, though slow, but it's sure that this is definitely going to happen. So to be able to meet even someone like you who focuses now on media is just an amazing thing. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's going to be fun working with you, Albert. I think moving ahead, I enjoy working with people, for one, who are underprivileged, who don't get the access to things that most others do. So in this regard, that's how I started working with Pakistan in the beginning, was just to get to know those people for what they needed. It wasn't, I did a wheelchair drive last Christmas, not this year, but the year before, where we managed, just with a few video broadcasts and a few posts on Facebook, managed to gather over a dozen wheelchairs for those kids who needed them in Pakistan. They had no other way to get around than to have these. And we had wheelchairs coming from Pakistan itself, or from the US, or from other countries as well. So I saw this part and I wanted to know what's going on here, Albert. Can you tell me a little bit about this big table of display items that you have here? Is this crafts that the kids are making over there?
Yes, actually. So when we look at those mats, these were actually done by the leadership of my wife, who also is part of the program, and she works with ladies. Did you see on the wall there? We have a program called YFED. YFED is Women Initiative for Empowerment and Development. Yeah. So through YFED, the ladies come together and they do this kind of stuff. So this is a mat program that they were buying the stuff and putting in the threads together. And they can actually even write your name, Leland, on one of them. I'll ask them to do it.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
and so that would be my gift for you personally.
Thank you.
And so you see all that. These plastics that you see here, last year during World Environment Day, it was all about the ban on plastics. So we got kids from around the schools and we asked them, you people tell us what are the solutions you could create out of the plastic menace.
Oh, cool.
Trust me, within Within 2 weeks, those kids surprised us with what they were able to do. So these are some of the things that we want to continue encouraging conversation. Why did you make a shovel? Why did you put a book rack? Why did you put this like this? And the young people continue to do amazing things, I can tell you.
I love this window that somebody decided to do like a macabre little thing with string to fill in the space in a creative manner. Those kids are very creative. I mean, this is what they started with. They started with all these empty plastic bottles and found ways to use and recycle those things into other objects, and not even other objects, but just other ways to store products. We do this a lot in our own home, where we try to take stuff that's been used. I have a big kitty litter container that I use to haul water to my fish tank now. I mean, it's something that I would normally dispose of, but you know, I use these things for carrying water all the time, and they make great containers. And that's what you guys are doing as well.
Amazing, amazing. And so for me, Leland, that is what really inspires me to work with these kids, because we need to have a whole way of transforming and shifting how our children look at things, you know, because if we are going to create sustainable employment opportunities, because jobs are very rare to come by, we have to teach our kids to be innovative. And the only way for them to be innovative is to have this kind of a space easily accessible to them. They don't have to take a taxi or a bus to go anywhere. All they need to do is go to their homes, change the uniform, 5-10 minutes, walk to this kind of a place and receive training opportunities. You see, like now what I'm doing with you, one day you will be doing it with these kids, and they've never experienced anything close to it. So bringing this opportunity right at the doorstep is my purpose.
That's awesome.
It makes me live and sleep every single day. So that is the rooftop we currently have. And like you were saying earlier, March to Greatness was actually born out of the need to make this space become a reality. So March to Greatness is a campaign to mobilize resources and to bring in opportunities and the resource partners. And so the first activity we thought would attract a lot of people globally was mountain climbing. And so that is how, having put the concept, the website is done by young people from Slum Code. The musical anthem that you've always had me play was done by the youth, the musicians from Slum Code. The recording was done by a young person who was mentored at Slum Code. And that makes them so proud that their campaign and the projects they've done are now actually reaching a global audience. And that is what really touches them. So for me, when we do Hike of the Great, it's about mobilizing resources to be able to make this innovation center become a reality. So thank you so much for this opportunity, Leland.
Absolutely. I'm going to play the promo video. It's a very short video. It's only about 45 seconds long, I believe, is it not? For the March to Greatness that was done just recently back in December of 2018. Let me get this. I think that's it. Yeah, this is the March to Greatness anthem. Or is that the one I want? I'm on the marchtogreatness.com site. I wanted to be able to show them. It looks like it's lagging behind. Really
exactly.
Hold on a second, Albert. Let me.
Yeah, it is actually. Thank you.
Oh, I'm getting there. It's just a matter of timing here. I'm going to probably open up the seats here in just a minute before we get toward the. This isn't going to be a full. What's going on here? All right, guys. I'd appreciate if you don't do that during my broadcast. Thank you very much, Bobby. Dump that stuff out, please. Sorry, Bobby. I can't have you doing that during my broadcast, man. I don't appreciate that. All right. Sorry. Bobby was getting a little jacked up there. I'm not going to allow that kind of stuff. Okay.
That's okay. Yeah, you're going to be in charge. So you can actually play it from the March to Greatness website, or you can even still catch it from the YouTube channel where the other video was played.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. It's just taking a long time for it to load for some reason. So I just wanted to give the people a shot of you up on top of Mount Kilimanjaro, which this is the sign that's actually at the top of the mountain when people arrive there. So this was your pinnacle moment, I'm sure. What it must have felt like. When was the first time you reached the summit over at Kilimanjaro? Hi, sweetheart.
It was at 6:41. Hi. Can you say, can you give me a kiss?
Hi.
Like this?
That's perfect.
Yeah, she's there. She's there looking at me and saying, Daddy, climb the mountain.
Oh, yeah, I understand. You've got other things. You've got other things to do. So I'll get a chance to play that video. It's just not coming in right at the moment. The site is a little slow. I'm trying to get it to show up, but for some reason the video is not loading as quickly as I like. Here, maybe I got it. Maybe I just got it. Hold on, let's see what happens here.
Yeah, it would be an amazing thing if it plays.
No, it's just not, Albert. For some reason, it's not letting me connect. Let me go to this video on YouTube, which was one that you guys did as a promo for 2018. This one should work for us. Yeah, here we go. Hold on just a second. Here we go.
Are you a global champion? Slum Code Group presents Hike of the Great. It is a Kilimanjaro challenge aiming to set up an easily accessible safe space for talent and entrepreneurship amongst the low-income neighborhoods. This is a $1 per meter of the Kilimanjaro challenge. Donate your $1 and make a difference. Let's go and climb Mount Kilimanjaro.
March to greatness.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's good, she says. I love her. She is adorable. Oh,
She's just amazing. She's my greatest supporter at any given time.
absolutely.
Can you say much to greatness?
Oops, hold on. I got to kill the audio there. Okay, we're good. All right. So, Albert, is there anything you'd like to say to the folks out here just to give a last bit of a message before I open up the seats? Because I'd love to have some people come in and ask questions if they'd like. They don't have to, but I like to leave that opportunity open for all of my viewers. So what can you say to the folks out there who might want to get involved with the Slum Code group? What's the best way we can reach out to you or come to you and find out what's going on?
talking.
Thank you so much again, Leland, and I want to really appreciate for this opportunity. So basically, like I said, maybe let me finish up on this. So like I said, for us, we are based in Nairobi, Kenya, at a place called Tena. And so we have a website, slumcode. The website is slumcode.org. Slumcode.org is our official organization website.
Okay.
And it has full details, contact, somewhere people can donate and what. But currently, like I said, our focus is very, very much on March to Greatness, because this year we are planning another hike again for December.
Oh, okay.
Many people said that last year they were catching up with it in October, They were like, Albert, we're just getting to know about this in October, November, and you have a month to go. So can you organize it again next year?
Yeah.
And we see how we can be able to participate early. So definitely we have Hike of the Great 2 coming up in December, and the same matchtogreatness.com website. The ITT needs to be able to bring updates and enable people to register again. So everybody who wants to participate, either like last year we had somebody who participated virtually. A lady from South Carolina decided to put her profile on the campaign website and literally did her activities in South Carolina.
Oh, wow.
She mobilized her friends. She was going to cycle. Yeah, I found that to be very, very innovative and very cool. She said this year she wants to make it even bigger. Those who want to do virtual stuff can create what we call March to Greatness communities. Those who want to literally come and join us for the hike can still do sign up and get there for the hike. So slumcode.org and matchtogreatness.com, every detail is there. My number would be found there. They can get in touch through you, Leland, and I think that would be really amazing. This is a project that we are going all the way to 2020. And my dream and my desire would be to see this unfinished space become a usable facility that will empower hundreds and hundreds of young people.
Well, it's going to be, yes. So that's absolutely my pleasure. I'll be certain to add any contact information to the video on YouTube. It sounds to me, from what I caught in the chat, our Facebook feed may not have fired up like we thought it would, but that's okay. If we at least have a recording, I'll make sure it ends up on Facebook with the information that if you can provide me a list of contacts, if you have some individuals in in specific form that you would want them to talk to, that'd be great. And then we'll see where my network takes that. So we'll go from there. Albert, thanks so much. I'm going to open up the seats. Do you have 5 more minutes to take in? If anybody has a question, if not, I'll let you go. But let me unlock the seats here for a moment, and maybe you can meet some of my network over here at Get Vocal. If anyone wants to hop in, say hello to Albert and tell him what you think about the program he's got going on, I would really appreciate it. If not, if anyone's feeling a little shy or not sure what to say, I'll let Albert get back to the things that he has to do. So we'll see what happens over here in the next couple of minutes. Here's Donald Brandt from over there on your side of the planet, actually. He's to the north of you. So, Donald, introduce yourself and let them know where you're at.
Hi, my name is Donald Brandt. I'm in Denmark.
And
oh, wow. Welcome, Donald.
Yeah, Donald's a good friend. We've known each other for a while.
I just went in to look at the donate page. I just didn't know if you had a Patreon account set up as well, but that looks cool.
Have you considered that? Have you considered that as an option, Albert? That's another way you could go. I'll send you a link to patreon.com, and actually I could leave it in the chat here. You may not see the chat. If you're on your phone, you can swipe to the right, and you should be able to see what people are saying about this conversation, because there is a chat feature there. But we'll go ahead and figure out what we can do to help. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's a nice.
Sorry, did Donald say he was on the donate page for March to Greatness?
Yeah, I was just over there looking at the website. I just wanted.
He was asking.
Yeah. It's a really well.
Okay. Thank you so much. Actually, what happens is when you go to the March to Greatness website and you click donate, then it opens a list of the hikers who registered last year to be able to fundraise. So some were able to raise and some were not able to get the entire money, but we put it all together and it helped us to be able to put the campaign going, because it was the first time and many people said, Albert, this is a very, very good trial. Yeah. So we'll be doing a report on last year's donation. So what happens is that if you need to see how the donate works, I am actually, I think, the first one at the top. So you can click support Albert, then it will open all the other donate. You can use PayPal and it works.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. We'll be able to figure it out. Because Patreon would be something more if you wanted to deliver content and get people involved with you over there for donations as well. But I just heard some bad news about Patreon, Don. I don't know if you're familiar with what's going on over there, but and the reason I put it in there is so that people are aware, because I wanted to bring this topic up even at one of my shows. Patreon has been let's just say it. They've been displaying some forms of what you would call, let's say, censorship in a lot of their people's the user group, and there's been people raving about the fact that they're leaving Patreon. So you may find yourself at a quandary if you decide to go a route like that. For some people it works, for other people it doesn't. It seems they're very swinging one way or the other politically, and they're curbing content from some delivered sources that are not happy about it. So you have to be careful how you use it.
Also, Leland, that a lot of those people that you're talking about are probably coming from, they do have controversial opinions about politics. So that's why one of the reasons I think that they're probably falling into that bunch of group that's being censored. So
probably. But there's no place for censorship in the world. There really isn't. We need if it's vile and disgusting, maybe. But when it comes down to simple political conversation and debate, there should be no censorship. That's not even a place for it. So, Albert, this is another good friend of ours. This is Rich Roberts. Rich, tell them who you are, where you're from, and how you ended up here on the show today, maybe.
Nice meeting you, Albert.
Hi, Albert. I just want to applaud you for the work that you're doing. Greatly, it informs the good things coming out from your. We hear too much in the States here of I guess the death of the hunters that are hunting the treasures of Africa, the lions, the giraffes, and stuff like that. So it's always good to hear good news coming from your part of the country, and I applaud you, sir. And I want to thank Leland too, because that's what this thing called the internet is all about, connecting people, and I like that. As far as and I take this as a great opportunity to talk to. I've never been to Africa, and someday I'd like to come over, but I have one question as far as concerning Mount Kilimanjaro. How long does it take you to get from the base to the top of? How many?
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much again. And I'm happy to hear that you appreciate Africa that much, though you've never been here, Rich. And I actually look forward to you coming. Maybe March to Greatness would be your first opportunity to be able to make it to Africa.
Yeah.
So what happens is this, depending on your level of fitness, you could go down from the base at the gate all the way up in 3 days.
3 days. 3
days. 3 days is more. Yes, 3 days is kind of like more average. But,
oh wow! Sorry? I didn't know it was that extensive. So there's various stages that you would go to as far as you progress up the mountain.
It's an adventure, I'm sure.
Yes. What happens is this. It's the top of Africa, actually the peak of Kilimanjaro is 5,895 meters above sea level.
Wow.
And so that is what you had when we did our March to Greatness campaign.
Yeah.
We tagged it onto that everybody who is coming for this campaign and helping us to raise this money would be raising $1 for every meter of the Kilimanjaro. You get it?
Wow.
So what they've done, what they've done is to be able to help everybody to acclimatize enough and not to strain. So we have 3 levels of the first route, which is a little bit easier. So you take 4 hours from the gate onto the first hut, then you spend the night there. Tomorrow morning, again, you leave and walk for about 7 hours to the next level, then you spend another night. Then you leave again the next morning and you go to the final destination. So when you get to the final destination, it is about 4,720 meters now. So you can actually see the peak. Yeah. And that is where you start off at about midnight, and you now go to a steep climb, for 6 hours. Total, you walk like a turtle, literally, step by step by step for 6 hours to make it to the Uhuru Peak at around 6:30 in the morning. That was my biggest challenge. I had altitude sickness and everything. But literally, if you're fit enough, like Leland based here, you can run up the place in 3 days.
That's insane. I don't mean it in a bad way. That's just a lot of climbing. So I suspect with the crew that you take, you've got a pretty big crew that come. You're going to have medical staff. You're going to have supplies. You're going to have a ton of what? Water. How much water do you guys take up that mountain when you leave?
What they encourage you is to try and do at the minimum about 4 to 6 liters at every given climb, sort of like station. But again, they are very good porters who carry all your luggage. So because you are not a trained hiker, you literally carry very basic stuff. A small backpack, maybe with your jacket on and some water and snacks and energy bars. Just stuff like that, a camera and stuff like that. But the porters who have been doing this we found porters who have literally climbed 95 times. I was like, wow. Kilimanjaro 95 times.
I haven't climbed it once.
Okay.
So those people carry huge.
He's just getting me tired just listening to it. Okay, I think I had a little bit of gitch. I'm going to go back into the audience here. Again, Albert, right, thank you very much. And have a great one.
Thanks so much, Rich.
I really appreciate Rich.
I appreciate Rich coming
Looking forward to connecting.
And he can still hear you, just so you know. They just jump back off onto the sidebar while they're here so that they can stay out of the room. I'm going to take it just one step further before we wrap up. So when you take a team, what is the size of the team that you usually take? How many people go all at once when you climb up this mountain?
What happens is that you can take a team as big as 60 or 70 if you have to. But the porters help you and encourage you to be able to do a maximum of about 12 per team. Sense. And they give everybody a command lead, sort of like a trained guide, who they have about 4 people on board. An excellently trained guide, and then they have porters. They will have all these other support staff, from porters to chefs to the medical staff and all that. So a team of 12, everybody would have literally 2 people with them, to be able to guide. And should anything happen as you're doing the hike, they have helipads where they can call for support, and people pay for that. Or they have some sort of like bed carriers that they can do a basic sort of like procedure. But if it is too extreme, then they'll call for a helicopter to do an evacuation, and all that will happen. So, but Kilimanjaro is very well organized. There's a video that I just uploaded today in the morning on the Slum Code TV YouTube channel. You can check it out. And it has like 12 minutes of the climb and how we had the experience. So that was actually amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching that, because I was getting the highlights on my phone while they were over climbing the mountain last month, and I was just catching them on Facebook as they were going along when Muhammad showed up over in Africa at the airport, and then from there when you guys made your venture toward the mountain. And I haven't even caught all the footage yet. I need to go back and see some of what's been going on over there. So maybe someday, I'm not certain how long into the future that'll be, but those are one of those kind of adventures that I would love to participate in at some point in my life. So I'm that adventure type that would climb a mountain. There's no doubt about it. I just wanted to see too, when you go up on this journey, it's for days. So you've got a bunch of people. It's obviously many strangers to each other. They've never met each other. So it's similar to what we do here at Get Vocal, where we're meeting for the first time. What type of process is involved with getting these people to communicate? How do you take 12 people who've never met each other that want to climb a mountain and organize them in such a fashion that they can get along? And then what types are there activities that you have that help them to learn about each other or spend time talking to each other? How does that work?
First things first, that's why people have a registration process. So when you confirm that I'm actually coming to be able to do this, then we have a registration process. Once we do that, then we have your email, we have your phone number, and thank God for technology nowadays, we can do things like calls or even WhatsApp. So on the WhatsApp group that we create for specific people who are climbing, people introduce themselves. Okay. People share photos or probably even videos if you have. So you don't just come to meet at the day when you're going to climb the mountain. Yeah. Already you've had about, you've had about probably a month or so of interaction via WhatsApp or via calls and stuff like that. So people know this is Mohammed, this is Albert, this is Leland, this is Maggie, this is Peter. So when you meet physically, already you have a clue who you are coming to meet, where they are coming from, and all that stuff. So we meet probably, if it's only that sometimes not many people have the time, but we meet about a day or two in advance so that we can do like a small local mountain in the country, like in Kenya, because I'm in Nairobi and Kilimanjaro is in Tanzania, which is about 7 hours away. So we would meet in advance and have a meal, toast to something, go climb a small mountain, probably people stay together, then we start the travel. So by the time we're doing the travel, you're already acquaintances, you know each other, and hey, people are good to go.
That's awesome. And that's what really, it kind of stuck in my head there since we started talking. I'm thinking to myself, if I'm on a mountain with a bunch of people, I better feel comfortable with them, because if all what breaks loose, you got to know who you can count on. So that's awesome to hear that you guys have in place some methodology that helps people to get to know each other before that huge event in their life, because that is, that's a pinnacle spot to be in. If you can set yourself up for that, that's one of those things people that they just aspire to do and may never do in their entire lifetime, but there are those few that do pull it off. So I'm just really impressed with what's going on over there, Albert. I can't wait to get to work with you on your studio inside the building there and help you put things together so that these kids can start to document everything that's going on over there, and we can actually see the growth that's taking place. So it's an amazing thing. All right, well, I'm going to let you get to the things you have to do. I know you're busy, but if there's anything you'd like to close up with, please do so.
Yeah, thank you so much. For me, again, is to appreciate the connection, the power of technology. And you see, when I experience this kind of things myself, then I realize that it's such an amazing opportunity to let these other kids also experience the world in such a fashionable manner. You know, 5-6 months ago, I didn't know you. I didn't even know you existed.
Yeah, exactly.
But now here we are talking, communicating like people who have known each other literally forever, you know. So the power of technology has exponential potential to transform this world. And my only message that I want to leave people with, and this is a mantra that I came up with during the campaign build-up, and it says that we may all not climb mountains, but we all can help somebody climb and conquer the mountains in their lives. And that is what actually opens up a book that I'm writing to launch in September 2019. Okay. But March to Greatness is about all of us. So I'll be keeping you posted. I'll be engaging you more and more. But everybody can literally participate in someone's life from wherever they are. You know, if you have to come to Africa, awesome, be here. If you can't come, like I said, you can build those so-called March to Greatness communities. Like for you, you can bring a group of you guys who you hang out with, you know, whatever it is that you do for your hangout, and say, guys, this is our March to Greatness community out here in Michigan. So what are we going to do? Everybody will buy a drink or some meal and we'll pay an extra $10, $20, $50. You never know. That's how people make a difference. That's when you touch that life, you make a difference.
Very good.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm looking forward to the follow-up video on Facebook, like you said. Yes. I appreciate it. We will make March to Greatness happen.
That's awesome. And if things do not turn out, if for any reason, Albert, this is a live broadcast. We never know what's going to happen on the other end because we're not witnessing the output on this particular show today due to limited resources on my end. I can't monitor all 3 social media channels, but one way or another, we will have a recording here on Get Vocal. But because of the interference that we encountered, both with not an interference from your daughter, but just the incorporation of your daughter and the cutout that we had on the audio here and there, I may just sit down with you at some point where we can just talk for 30 minutes, record a really high quality broadcast, and then put that up as well so that we've got something a little better quality. All right. He says, Rich says YouTube looks pretty good so far, so we're hoping to rely on that recording, and I'll let you know as soon as it's available. All right, Albert, I'll let you go. Take care of all those great individuals that you have working under you. I'm sure they're appreciative of everything you do for them, and make sure that little girl of yours grows up safe. She's going to be one heck of a prize in the future when it comes to a woman of the world, I'm sure. So
thank you so much, Leland. I really appreciate this opportunity. I'm glad we could make it happen.
Yes.
Let's get vocal. Let's march to greatness.
Let's do it. We'll see you guys. We'll take care. I'm going to close up. I'm going to let you go, Albert. You go ahead and just back out of that square, and I'm going to wrap up the broadcast, and we'll leave it open afterwards. So if anybody wants to jump in, we'll have a little after show. All right. And
thank you so much.
Yeah, there's a little X there. He's all set. All right. I'm going to lock the seats again for just a minute, folks, as I wrap up Wake Up West Coast for the season 2 opener out here in 2019, where we're going to start things off on the right foot, trying to help everyone out there take a march to greatness in one way or another. We just spoke with Albert, who's over in Nairobi, Africa, and he brings a lot of individuals over there to do just that, and that is climb those mountains that they've been trying to bust through all their lives, really, in some cases, and they're making a lot of things happen. So we'll leave all the links down below in the video. If you found this on Facebook, we apologize that the broadcast did not go as planned, but we will upload the YouTube video very shortly. So take care, everyone. This has been Leland Best out at Wake Up West Coast. You can catch us every Monday at noon Eastern out here on getvocal.com, where we like to make conversations happen. So we'll talk to you later. Take care and have a great week.